I had a conversation with a chaplain recently. He said being a chaplain for special operations is a very addicting thing. He said you haven't lived until you've taken off in an airplane in the middle of the night in Afghanistan with no seat belts and no seats, holding onto a little ring in the floor as you race down a runway in the dark with no lights on, and fly through the Afghan night sky and land in an unapproved dirt strip, be claimed by a Special Forces A-team and taken to their safe house to conduct a worship service in the middle of the dark at about 2 o'clock in the morning, some mud hole in Afghanistan, lead 2 of them to Christ, and then race back to that same airstrip to be picked up by another airplane and hold on to that little ring in the floor as you race off into the night.
I think it's important for us to remember that there was one war years ago in which we sought our freedom as a country, and most of the wars that we've been in since are simply wars to preserve all of the wonderful things that we have achieved. And I think that it's important for the country to remember the fact that really millions of men and women have been a part of that program to preserve the wonderful freedom as well as all of the tremendous opportunities that we have.
In grammar school, I had received the Patriotism Award on graduation. That was part of my upbringing. My parents were immigrants, came here at the age of 16, and they were extremely patriotic to this country, even though they were original citizens of Italy, which were one of the Axis powers, but they were very faithful and patriotic to the United States, and that carried on to myself and the rest of my family.
I could be anything I want to be as an American. If it takes school or if it doesn't take school, according to your own intelligence, of course. But you could be anything you want, any way you want. You know something? I owned and operated an advertising agency in New York City. I never graduated high school. I got a GED when I was in the Marines. You can make it, even if you don't have an education. You just have to put your mind to it. You can make it. You can make it.
I think as Americans we have a responsibility that we forget often. We grab our freedoms, but we ignore the responsibilities that come with them. So with freedoms we have responsibilities to maintain those freedoms, to guard them and protect them and pass them on to the next generation. With our responsibility of freedom of speech, are we using that speech wisely? With the responsibility of freedom of religion, are we taking advantage of that and taking every opportunity to serve the Lord in our neighborhoods?
Independence Day, of course, is something that's very important. That's the thing that all military people are sort of fighting to maintain, is that freedom and independence that our country enjoys.
If there's one thing that people should be proud of as Americans, and I myself am, proud that how much God has blessed this country and how much we need to honor Him and be thankful to Him for that. When you've been to the Panama and you see the hunger and you see when they worship a God that's not the God and how they don't have the blessings.
As Americans, I think we should be very proud that we're a nation under God. Not many countries in the world put that on their currency or even mention it in the Pledge of Allegiance. And we should be very happy that as a nation under God, if we truly act that out, we're going to find ourselves in the will of God, and it will result in a country that glorifies God throughout the world. I think it's important to celebrate Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and Independence Day. If you look back in history, various presidents realized what a great jewel we had in the United States. Abraham Lincoln said that America was the last best hope of earth. And even President Ronald Reagan said that the United States was like a shining city set on a hill. And even today, it could be said that the United States is the only bastion of freedom in the world. And it's a great country worth defending. It's a great country worth celebrating the independence of it. And freedom is a great thing. It's a very precious commodity that comes from God. It's a blessing of God. It's something that we can't take for granted. It's something that is rare and valuable, and it can be lost. We got to make sure each generation of Americans appreciates that, so that future generations can partake in that freedom.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible sword. His truth is marching on. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never go retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with the glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free, while God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
We can almost hear the trumpet sound. The Lord return is near. There are still so many people lost. His message they must hear.